Chainlink update on the daily chart and the weekly. We're going to start here on the shorter time frame. I got good news and bad news. The good news is it looks better on the higher time frame. The bad news is the short time frame not so great. Let's get right to it. So Chainlink in an uptrend since mid to late June here, right? We got off our lows. Hopefully the lows are in, right? All signs point to that. But we could be range bound for the rest of eternity, right? We'll get into that later too. But uptrend for now. What is the warning here happened yesterday, right? We closed below the EMA 21 on the daily. In an uptrend, usually that's your warning shot that trend could be reversing. So let's go back and look, right? The break above it here, retest EMA 21 hold, move up higher, come back, retest EMA 21 hold, move up again, come back, retest EMA 21 hold, move up, come back, EMA 21 hold, move up, and now we closed right under it just yesterday. So that increases the odds. That's all we have in crypto is the odds. That's all we have in trading. No guarantees, but the odds are slight downtrend for the short term. Now, short term could be a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever, right? So what are our downside targets if we do continue down? Well, the 200-day EMA in this pink right here, that would be step one. I think that's a pretty good target from now at 690. Below that, right, you might have to zoom out to some different targets because we don't really have a whole lot to go on, right? Not a whole lot of structure below that. So let's do just that. Let's zoom out to the weekly and get to the better news, right? So to the downside, we'll keep on that track first, right? The downside, usually when you start to look a little bit more bearish on the short-term daily chart, you got to zoom out to the weekly and get your next target. And that would be the EMA 21 weekly should be holding in a nice uptrend here, right? So that's what we're looking for. When you break the EMA 21 on the daily chart, I would immediately zoom out to the EMA 21 on the weekly chart and get your target. Again, not too far off from 690. It's 683 right here, right? So you want to be tracking that if we move down. Now, Chase, you mentioned some good news on the weekly chart. Well, yeah, this is still, and we're still in an uptrend by definition on the weekly. And ideally, we want to see this bounce off the lows, go into kind of this kind of bull flag formation, maybe come down in the next week or two, hit off this EMA 21, and then bounce up into our bigger resistance zone around the $9 area. So that would be the idyllic scenario for bulls, is to do that. Maybe not this last part, right? It didn't click. So that's what I'd be looking for to the upside, to the ultra bulls, right? That's the most bullish scenario. I'm not saying that's likely to happen or going to happen. The most bullish scenario would be that at this point, right? Obviously, it's going to depend on a lot what Bitcoin does. Altcoins, not likely going to take off big until Bitcoin's back above 30K and holding strong. It could take all of 2024 or 2023 into 2024, right? Springtime next year, right? January, Q1. Let's go Q1 2024. I think altcoins will have kind of their first chance at a true alt season. So Chainlink gets above, $9, $10. And then I think, Valhalla next, right? So, but until then, right, this is our weekly resistance that's been holding since our first test, June of 2022, right? So also the 200 week is major on any chart. 923 as of right now for Chainlink, right? That big pink line also in that resistance zone. So if we get up there, that's going to be a hell of a battle. When that breaks, that shouldn't be taken lightly by the bulls or the bears. And I think, major moves after that. But until then, sideways is the odds, right? Sideways, like how sideways, Chase? Well, from $5 to $8, right? That's the odds for the rest of the year, right? We've been in there for 87 years, so why not just a little bit longer, right? So I'm looking, here's January 2024, right? Now maybe we're pressing this at the end of this year, maybe not, right? Maybe we're just still range bound. But once this zone breaks and flips to support, that's when the big Chainlink move happens. So otherwise, that's your odds for the remainder of this year. Not that you can't get bullish, right? We could absolutely be knocking on the door of $9, $10 in the next couple of weeks, and maybe we just hang up there, right? That could be a possibility. The Bollinger Bands on the weekly are quite wide though, so a lot of volatility expected in Chainlink. Again, like hopefully, I think the lows are in. I think that was the deviation, right? The kind of the pit of despair mode, and then now we're picking ourselves back up. But we absolutely do not want to close back below the 21 EMA. 680, right? Note that it's rising a little bit week over week. But if we do get down there, that's where I would be looking to hold above to, have a good shot of, breaking 10, later this year or early next. So that is Chainlink wrapped up in a brief Thursday update. So quote of the day. If we open a quarrel between past and present, we shall find that we have lost the future. Winston Churchill. Car of the day. Bugatti Veyron. An absolute extra custom, probably $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in options, exposed carbon, added on body kit, wheels. I mean, that's expensive to do in a multi-million-dollar car. So that's the front. The rear gets even better, right? Custom exhaust, custom bumper. I mean, this guy's got megatons of money in this after the car purchase. So probably the nicest looking Bugatti Veyron I've ever seen, in my opinion. But all right, I'll wrap it up there for Chainlink. The time is coming, right? It's gonna happen. But we just need to focus on doing a whole lot of nothing until we can, get above 9. So, just be patient. It's coming, right? You've been patient, right? By definition, you've been patient for a hell of a long time. If you're still watching, it'll happen. It's just going to take an alt season to get us out of this, right? And unfortunately, that's just a little bit more time away. Bitcoin's going to have to get back above 30. Strongly believe in that. I would say probably 32K. It's going to need to make a run to new all-time highs before an alt season can truly happen. So hopefully that makes sense. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. What else do you want to see? How about the Gaussian channel for the one of you that's still here? There's 4 of you. 4 of you still here. The weekly Gaussian still pointed down, trying to round out here, but you gotta put the odds on end of this year before we can have a shot, right? I mean, look at the base curve here, right? It's not just gonna. It usually does something like that, right? So that puts us into Q1 2024, right? Before we can turn the weekly green. How about the 5-day? How's that looking? We can do that a little bit sooner. Let's clean this up. The 5-day, that could go a little bit sooner, but still we gotta be knocking on the door late Q4, right? At the earliest, right? This just takes time. This has got to go up before it turns green. So we need that to turn green and prices to be on top, right? The 100 EMA right there, around $9. So I think we're gonna have to flip 9 to support to turn this 5-day green. The earliest I could really see that is maybe October. And that's if Chainlink gets above 9, like, I don't know, real soon. All right, so we'll end it there. Hopefully that helps. Nice little bonus at the end. Try to do those every now and again. Appreciate y'all watching this long if you have. I'll see you on the next one.